Hey leaders, thank you for rocking out last week. You guys are incredible. Nikki and I had a great time at the conference, and it was really good. So we are on session 2 of the I Ams of Jesus, and I am operating at less than full capacity, so I'm looking at lots of instructions at our lesson plan at the same time. This week we are on I Am the Light of the World. Our verse is from chapter 8. Our memory verse is from chapter 8. And the lesson that we're doing is Jesus's miracle of healing the man's eyes at the pool of Siloam. And from chapter 6. So the other thing that you can note with the kids is that we're kind of going backwards in time a little bit, according to John. We're going backwards from last week in location in the book of John for where these texts are. Regardless, we will do in large group the experiment with the candle and the flame. I did realize just a minute ago that the YouTube link that's in your lesson plan is not, it no longer works. So I found another one and I dropped it into the plan online. So when I send you the link in a minute, that'll have it just so that you can see what it is. I'll do it from the stage. We'll probably have to have the groups walk past it or something like that because it's not big enough for them to all see at one time. But we will do that. And it's just super cool. Like I never knew before writing this that when you have a candle flame and a light source in front of it, you have the shadow from the candle and the wick, but not from the flame. The flame doesn't cast a shadow, which is just kind of cool. Jesus and his perfect light and all that. There's no shadow in him. So that is our opening hook. And then we will move into teaching. You'll review just really quickly about John and the purpose of his book. And then move into tonight's teaching. Your teaching engagement tool is to kind of storyboard with them, which you'll have a piece of big mural paper in your room. If it's not already, you'll just need to divide it into 9 pieces, whether you do it into small bits like this or it's really long and just each one is its own, but you'll need nine segments. And you can explain this is a marketing tool as well as like if you're planning a story or a movie, then you create a square for each component of your story so that you can help visualize it and follow through and make sure you don't miss any bits and things like that. So that's what you're going to use tonight. In your lesson plan, you have the verses included, and then after that, don't get confused by the verse numbers and then the numbers listed afterward for what goes in each square. When we had to reformat changing things, it just looks differently. Anyway, so you'll finish the section of the verses and then invite somebody up to come and draw what happened in those verses in that square. And then you'll go to the next section and ask somebody else to come and draw in that one. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be whatever, just so that when they look at it, they can see the story unfolding in their storyboard. So you'll go through that, teach the lesson that way. Ask a couple things that could create interesting conversations, such as why were they so angry? Why are they chasing this man down? Why does Jesus send him to Pool of Siloam to wash instead of just doing it right there instantaneously like he has in the past? There's some good discussion points in there. There is an additional illustration if you want to use it at the end with the jar, with the oil, the water, and the food coloring, and then shaking it up and say, Jesus' light is supposed to dissipate throughout everyone. And so that's how people who are not yet believers encounter it, is when we're doing this and we're following through and all these things. So that's there if you want to use that. The project tonight is making glow-in-the-dark slime. There's glow powder. I don't know if we tested it. If we haven't tested it yet, we'll test it tomorrow. That is a limited quantity of glow powder, so we'll probably give you each a pretty specific little amount, and that's all we got. We've made it in the past. It worked great. But yeah, they'll each have a little container to take it home with and a lid. And or you can do a flashlight tag if you prefer that. It'll be dark outside, so have a good time. so talking about Jesus, he's the light of the world, and that we are to carry his light into the world. All right. So should be pretty straightforward. Thank you again for leading. Thanks for covering last week. I super appreciate you. Talk to you later.